All right, here we go. First spool up with the new TX15. Carried the model over, remapped the channels. Same model I had in the TX16. Let's see if this works. What's going on, everyone? This is Tanner Ingram with FlyRide RC. Today I'm going to be going over the newest radio coming out from RadioMaster, which is the TX15. A lot of really cool features that are in this radio. I've been playing with it for a little bit now and flying with it. I think there's a lot of really cool stuff and improvements that are going on in this radio that I'm going to dive into in this video. I won't go through every single little feature, but I'm going to go over kind of the things that stood out to me about this radio. So I'll go ahead and do a fake unboxing here since I've already been playing with this radio. Initially, I was very surprised that it came with a case. Previously, the TX16 that I had been using primarily before using this radio, it came with a styrofoam box. Although it was a nice box, it was nice to carry around. A lot of storage. This is a big improvement. Saves you about 30 bucks. RadioMaster, of course, always very cheap, high quality stuff. So saves you a couple bucks. I thought it was really nice that it actually came with the case that fit this radio. Also comes with the manual and a couple stickers, of course. You got ripping nuts, which still says TX16S. I think RadioMaster needs to update that to TX15, but either way, still pretty cool. Some nice stickers. So let's go ahead and open this up. There she is. That is the new RadioMaster TX15. I went with the Max version, the red color, of course. It's got this nice strap holding it down. Got the nice antenna built in up top. It's just a very, very light radio, I initially can tell out of the box. So there are two models that are coming out for the TX15. The first model, which is the base model, which we're not looking at on the screen here, has different colored cases. And I really wish the Max had these options for these cases. All the Max cases come with this carbon fiber, which look great, but the Max had a couple features that I really wanted to try and to test, and that's what I went for this video. The TX15 base model comes in iron gray, frost white, iceberg blue, mint mist, lemon twist yellow, and hot pink. All very good colors, they all pop, and any of the upgrades that are available for the Max you can buy as add-ons for the 15 if you wanted to really make it custom and have a colored case, colored everything. Whatever it may be, you can add on to the TX15. The TX15 Max model we're looking at right here has the upgraded aluminum buttons, LED lights under the gimbals, which I can demo right here. And the feature that I wanted, and I'm sure a lot of us want, are the new AGO2 gimbals. These gimbals feel absolutely phenomenal. They are 21.6% lighter than their predecessor, the AGO1, which really drew me to the RadioMaster radios initially. Brought me from another system that may or may not have had a couple red screens here or there. That is how we ended up here on the RadioMaster radio. Absolutely love these gimbals, the AGO2 being this much lighter. Initially, I really didn't know if you could tell that much of a difference, but I know I've got my sticks pretty loose. The stick doesn't fall immediately. Previously, the stick would have immediately fallen on my TX16 because they were so heavy. Much less inertia in the sticks as you're using them. You can actually feel it when you're flying. That surprised me. AGO2 gimbals can also be installed and they're cross-compatible with the TX16, the TX15, the base model we were just talking about, as well as the Boxer. So anything that runs the AGO1s can also take the AGO2s, minus anything that may or may not be a red screen issue. The LEDs that come installed, I think they're really nice. They only come with the Max, they don't come with the base model. I've been talking to other people who are reviewing these. They aren't a huge fan because the LEDs, similar to other radios, same with the TX16, they drop the gimbal just a little bit, which technically gives you more resolution because the gimbals are further into the radio. You have more throw up here. Some people don't like it. I personally like it. I've added the metal plate that comes with the TX16 underneath the gimbal of the AGO1 to even drop them further. I like that feature. A lot of people do not like it, but I think it's pretty cool. So initial impressions of this radio. I think it is significantly faster. It's not even comparable to the TX16. It's very snappy to the input and response. It feels like a modern radio where previously the Edge TX kind of felt a little clunky. I'll kind of demo it here, just kind of going through and changing these LEDs back to how they should be. Almost so snappy you kind of misclick. I'm not used to using this. So I'm going to put it back to blue here. Scrolling incredibly fast. I kind of wish you could change the sensitivity of this scroll wheel because it's so fast now you kind of misclick and it moves so fast. Of course, it's also touchscreen. Don't always have to use the actual scroll wheel. Another feature about these AGO2s, and I'm not sure if they've upgraded the Hall effect sensor from the V4 version. They do call it the V5, although the AGO2s are, of course, a lighter CNC build. They call it the V5 Hall effect sensor. And I wanted to demo one thing here about the channel monitor. You can see here there's really no noise coming through. With the AGO1s, I had a lot of noise coming through at all times where it would bounce around between 1, 0, -1. Let the stick fall here. Really not a lot of noise. That was me on the rotor. They're very quiet. They filter out a lot of the noise. I think they really improved the Hall effect sensor on these AGO2s, which is great. Need less deadband in your flight controller. Definitely improved the sensor filtering on these new gimbals. The screen is much brighter, it has a better resolution, and it feels nice in the hands. I'm a big fan of the ergonomics. It's an incredibly light radio. I haven't weighed it in comparison to my TX15 because I've got different batteries and the external module on my TX16, but this radio is significantly lighter in your hands. One of the main reasons it is much faster is it's running the STM32H7 MCU, which is 300% faster than our previous MCUs we were using with our RadioMaster radios. We actually saw an update in EdgeTX to support the H7 MCU previously, so we kind of expected this coming, and this radio is finally here for us to use. It is significantly faster. It feels as it should for a radio. Very snappy, clicking through everything. No more waiting and frustration trying to get into different Lewis grips. I'm not connected to a model there, so I could not get that open. Much faster. Big fan of this radio. Another nice feature about this radio is it has 4 gigabytes of onboard memory with a micro SD expansion. And to get to the SD expansion, it's right here in the back plate. You can put your SD card right there, get it in and out as needed. The batteries, I should mention, do not come with this radio. I put them in there from the TX16 module. They are an add-on for the radio, but they're very nice to have, and I definitely recommend adding them to the radio. The screen is a 3.5-inch screen, IPS touchscreen with 262 color resolution with 600 nits. Nits being the brightness of the screen. This screen is incredibly bright. I've actually got it turned down right now. Got it on my knob here in global settings. This is how bright it can get. Up to this point in the video, we were at 50%. It's incredibly bright, especially underneath the sun. You can definitely see it whenever you need to look at it out of the field. The previous radio I was using, the TX16, was a 4.3-inch screen, so this screen is a little bit smaller, but the resolution is 480 by 320 versus 480 by 272 for the TX16, so a little bit better resolution on the screen, much brighter. I think it looks a lot better, and of course, my favorite feature of how snappy it is and how easy it is to navigate through this radio. Another nice feature is the screen is actually flush this time, where I've got my TX16 here. It was recessed a little bit where your fingers would hit the side, where this is completely flush. So your finger can glide across it from the scroll wheel onto the screen. Very easy to get back in there. Big fan of that. So the antenna and the built-in ELRS on this radio. We kind of discussed it at the beginning of this video. It's foldable, very easy to put away. It is much more durable than the TX16, where it kind of felt like it was going to break off at any point. You'd really probably have to slam this into a car door to break it off. It supports it supports 2.4 gigahertz or 900 megahertz. 2.4, of course, supporting 1000 hertz, where 900 is 200 hertz. Most of us watching this video are probably helicopter guys, so we're interested in the 2.4, but it's nice that it supports both of these frequencies. 900 being better for long range, where 2.4 is the wider band and gives us a better refresh rate for more telemetry, more data, more packets per second for the radio. The 6-position switch are right above the screen this time. I kind of like that. You can easily go from where your sticks are to hit it instead of having to go way up here like you have to on the TX16. I really like the placement of those much better. A couple of other small features about this radio I wanted to go over. It's only got one USB port, which is up top right here. Nothing on the bottom. It's got some screw holes, I'm sure, for the tray radio guys to screw right in. But the USB port supports PD, the power delivery compatible port. So I can plug it directly into my Mac. I can plug it into a PD supportable charger where it's going to charge it faster. Previously with the TX16, I'd use USB-A to USB-C to kind of bypass it, to trick it into actually talking to the radio. Now I can plug in USB-C to USB-C directly to my MacBook. It is good to go. It's also got this port right here for headphones, as well as the DSC port on top. It's also got a built-in microphone. That is for future expansion of this radio, where you can talk to it, maybe have it call out telemetry, talk to your radio. I don't think you can use it to command to land the radio. That'd be kind of crazy, but maybe you can say, hey, read out motor RPM, and it'll read out your telemetry signal. It's also got a built-in gyro now, so if you need to move the screen or maybe jab it a certain acceleration, it'll read off a certain telemetry signal. All right, the next portion of the video I'm going to talk over, as I've already pre-recorded a little bit of footage of me diving into this radio. Initially, this radio comes with two different buttons up top. And I've got those sitting out right here. They are momentary and latching on either side. These are what are pre-installed, and I'll put a picture over the video here so that you can see what it looks like when it comes. It comes with two position switches for the SF and SE shoulder switches up here, as well as these nice little plastic pieces to fit in to make it look like the radio came like this. One thing I noticed about this radio that was really nice is this switch and this switch are installed backwards inside the radio. They fit either way. If you want it latching, or I guess momentary the other way, and latching opposite over here, whatever you want, you could install the switch either way you desire. And this video here that I'm overlaying right now is me installing these switches into the radio. These two switches that are two position come with the radio. There's also an option for a three position that I get installed into these, which I think I'm going to upgrade to. I kind of like having my motor idle and off on a single switch up here, where right now it's just two position. Three position would get me going there. One thing worth mentioning about this radio is the TX16 I previously was using. I moved the models over and sound files to this radio, which is running Edge TX 3.0, which is an unreleased version at this time. There's going to be a released version when this radio comes out. I wasn't sure how this would work. I couldn't find any documentation on it. I dropped the sound files in there. I put the model file in there. It all worked immediately. All I had to do was remap a couple of the switches, and if I remapped that switch, I had to go into the special functions and logical switches and make sure that it was mapped to the right switch. Some of these were blank if I had to remap it, and I put them in their associated switch, and it worked immediately. This is the file that I was using on the TX16, used on the TX15 today to fly my M2 V3 Pro. It worked fantastic. A couple of things I don't like about this radio I wanted to mention are the fabric handle in the back. Of course, it makes it lighter. It feels a little bit cheap. I hope there's an upgrade aluminum handle similar to the TX16 that folds down. I would much rather have that, possibly an upgrade in the future. The screen size is a little bit small, although it looks great on this radio. I think it could be just a little bit bigger. The stock shoulder buttons that come up here I was discussing earlier, these guys I think would be better to have a three position for us heli guys. That'd be the nominal thing for us to do. Of course, it's an upgrade, but it would be nice if it came with the radio. The speaker, which I'll demo here just a little bit. Oh, I forgot we had that audio in there. Shout out Simone Zunter overseas. The speaker feels a little bit louder, but it still lacks that power that I'm looking for compared to other radios. It's still just a little bit quiet. But overall, I think this radio is a really big improvement to the TX16. In other radios, I hope to see them implement the H7 and some of these other features into the new radios. I'm definitely very happy with this, and I'm going to be using this radio as my daily driver going forward. Absolutely love how snappy and fast this radio is to navigate through. The screen looks excellent. The AGO2s feel phenomenal. Overall, the form factor, I'm a huge fan of. So, well done, RadioMaster, with this radio.